Hello, fictional. Welcome to the Fiction Series X. Today we are gonna see, what if Issei was the familiar of devil and got harem? Part 1. If you end up liking this video, please consider subscribe, so without further ado, let's get into the video. This is it. The final battle that will defend the fate of Halkijinyu and Earth are upon us. No matter what, defeat is not an option. But the shrill cry the demon, or more correctly to say a massive big shadow in front of us, was letting out a cry that shook the land itself. Beside me is Julio. I wouldn't go so far as to say he is my friend, but right now both of us has the same goal, to defeat that thing once and for all. Behind us is 4 human figure, and behind them is a large army of human elf, spirit of the land, and even the vampire race itself, showing to the final battle that will decide the fate of the whole world. All of the mage, and any creature that capable of using firstborn magic, start to chant a spell as magic Kouhai's throw at the big shadow. Fireball, lightning, wind, water, ice, earth, each different element form as it attacks the big shadow. The big shadow didn't let up as it sent some kind of shadow army of its own, but both me and Julio won't let them pass as I cut them one by one, while Julio was using some kind of magical artifact as he destroyed them, not letting any of them pass. With the help from other creature that under his control, ogre, orc, dragon and many more fantasy-like creature, the shadow army got obliterated by both of us. Finally the 4 human, or more correctly to say void mage user, finished up their chanting as the items surrounding them, including the ring that they wear, start to shine. Vittorio with a ruby of fire. Issei with a ruby of earth. Stefania with a ruby of wind. And finally is Louise, wearing a ruby of water. Circling around them is 4 void item. Now the condition is complete. 4 void item and ring. 4 familiar. 4 void user. When all of it gathers, Brimmer true void will awaken. A bright light engulfed the creature as it got pushed away behind as a void appear out of nowhere, swallowing him. Soon the big shadow got completely swallowed by the void as nothing were left of him. It over. I would have said that, but there is something else that need to be done. I turn around as Vittorio, Issei, Stefania and Louise walk at me. Julio watch from beside me as he wait for them to get near us. There is one more thing that need to be done, are you ready? Vittorio spoke up. I know there is no way but to do this, but I really don't want to do this. I'm ready. I force myself to said that as I nod. Saito, Louise said as I watch her sad face. Louise, I don't know what else to say in this situation. After this we may not be able to see each other anymore. Louise leaned her body closer as her face got closer to mine. I did the same as both of us share the kiss that could be said our last kiss. She released the kiss reluctantly as I can see she forced herself to smile. Are you sure you want to go like this? I can erase your memories if it's too painful. Thank you for your concern, but I rather keep my memories of this place. I reject Tifa offer. I knew she didn't have any bad intention. Even if it's painful, I still want to keep all the memories of Halkijinyu on me. This place had changed me to the person I'm currently is. Then, I will open the gate now. As Vittorio said that he chants something as a window made of light appear. On the other side show the place of my birth. Japan that is located on Earth. Stefania, if you please. Vittorio make a gesture for Tifa to continue. But the nod Tifa came in front as she chants something. All of the void item and rings start to glow as all of them floating on the sky as it make a circle above us. Julio familiar mark also starts to glow as it shot to the sky and got absorbed by the item. What had been a familiar mark were no longer there, meaning that Julio no longer possesses wind alpha and Meisnitnern. The same thing also happened to void mage as their body giving out a soothing light as it shot up like Julio is. Soon the void item and rings start to disintegrate it as slowly they remain being absorbed by my own body. I start to feel pain on my right hand and my forehead as the rune being engraved in it. I also can feel a surge of power entering me. All I can do now is endure the pain. I grit my teeth as I wait for the rune to be engraved fully. It's done. Now all that left is for you to go through World Gate. But remember, once you've gone through there won't be any other way to connect your world to Halkijinyu, meaning you won't be able to return. I knew that without being told. That creature was born as a result of void existence. 6,000 years ago after Brimmer dead, he had sealed the void as to not let that creature to awaken. Since we don't know how Brimmer sealed it in the first place, we can only use the alternative. Everything about void will be transferred to me, the person who came from another world. After that I will return back to my world, making void non-existence in Halkijinyu. With this the creature won't be able to revive itself because the void is no longer exist in Halkijinyu. That also mean that I could never return here since there will be no one capable of using World Gate. Partner, it's time to leave. Durf said. Are you sure, Durf, living the land of your birth? Durf seemed to insist of following me back to my world. I won't leave partner's side as long as I'm exist. Was Durf answer. I'm happy to hear that, but carrying a sword in modern Japan wasn't really a good thing either. I walked step by step as I finally arrived right in front of the portal. With a single step, one of my feet already gone inside the portal. I stopped for a bit as turned to look at everyone. Many memories flashed through my mind, starting from being first summoned by Louise. Many things happen here that I don't know if it can happen when I'm on Earth. Goodbye everyone, goodbye Louise. As I said this, my other feet move as I enter through the portal. I turn back as I look at Louise one more time. She was crying, but she still forced herself to smile at sending me home. Her mouth moved as if saying something, but at this distance I won't be able to hear it. Even so, I still understand what is it she want to say as I replied. I love you too. With it, the portal completely closed, cutting all of the connection with Halkajinya. I'm back, I mutter to no one as I look up at the one moon floating on the sky. Now that I'm back on Earth, I need to know where I am first before finding a way back. Currently, I'm in a rooftop of a building. When I look down, I can see a track field and other building on the ground. With this, I conclude I was in some sort of school. But which school it is something I need to find out for myself. Since it was night, there will be no one here at school, so searching for a person to seek answer is useless. They're always the guard if the school employed one on night duties, but that will leave me to explain why am I doing at a school not of my own in the middle of the night. Maybe there will be the name of the school at the front gate. But that thought in my mind, I search for what seemed to be similar to front gate as I finally spot one. I can't see anything from here. It was true. The tree is blocking my view to see what is it. Not to mention it was dark, making it harder to see. I was tempted to just jump down from this height. I'm sure with Gandalf I could survive this kind of fall, but it better if I don't take any risk. What would my mother said if I return home with a broken body part? I head to the door that led me to the inside of the building. It take time as my eye finally gotten used to the dark as I explore the place. For a school, this hallway is kind of complicated. I have a feeling that I've been wandering in circle while searching for stairs to go down. Maybe I should just jump down from this floor, since this is a little lower than the floor from before. I'm sure I could survive the fall easily. That could work if not for the fact that all the windows here are locked. I don't want to break it just because I want to go down. Maybe one of the windows in one of this room is left open. If that's the case, I should search at one of the room. Oh. What luck. There is a big door in front of me. There seemed to be something written at the sign above the door, but I can't read it within this darkness. Without any thought, I open the door. Who happen isn't locked. There's no way anyone would be here at this kind of hour, so I casually walk inside the room. It was easier to see what inside the room as the light from the moon reaching here lighting the room. There is a table or something there, and like I thought the window were wide open, meaning I could jump out from the building. I would done so if not for one thing. In front of me there is a girl. More correctly, there is a half-naked girl who in the middle of changing clothes. Both of our eyes met as she was stunned for a moment. So am I. Now what to do? Who is that girl? Why is she changing clothes in a school building in the middle of the night? This question keeps running on my mind. Ahem. On hearing that, I finally snap out of my thought as I turned around immediately. Sorry, it wasn't on purpose. I don't know if she would believe me, but I can hear her finishing what she were doing just now. The sound of her changing clothes really turns my imagination on as my mind start to imagine how she looked like. No, now's not the time to think about this. What if she called a cop? I don't want my parent to come and met me in a police station after being gone for a whole year. Wait, come to think of it, that made more sense being on police station, though if the reason I was there because of being sexual offender, I don't think I want that. You can turn around now. I did what she said as I look at her in a school uniform. I never seen those uniform before, so this place might be far away from my home. Damn it. What should I say? I never expected there will be a person at this kind of time. What were she doing here anyway? Don't tell me she lives here. So who are you and why are you here at this kind of time? You're not even a student here, aren't you? Now it is time to make some story. I can't just tell her I was teleported here. There's no way she'll believe me. In fact, she might think me as crazy person. I'm lost. Gah. There's no way she believed me if I said it with a question mark. On second thought, what kind of excuse is that? Even if I said it right, it still doesn't make it more believable. I see, so you don't intend to tell me if that's the case. What? I tilt my head in confusion. What did she want to do? So far nothing had happened after she finished saying that. That didn't work. What are you? Her tone suddenly changed to a more wary tone. What did she mean by what am I? Oh right, I haven't introduced myself yet, that's why she was a bit surprised. Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself, my name is Saito. That is who I am. Since I just intrude on her changing, it would be rude to just escape without giving my name. Crap. I just give her my name. Even if I escape, she can still report to the police about sexual harassment. How could I forget about that? Now, just forget about me and I'll just be on my way. Just when I were about to make my escape, the door closed with a loud bam as it tried very hard to open it. How is this possible? The door just close on its own and lock itself. Could the technology have advanced this far during a year of my disappearance? It could be possible since anything could happen within 1 year. Don't think of escaping, the fact that hypnotism didn't work on you prove that you're not a normal human. Now she's starting to said something that was hard to understand. Hypnotism. Normal human. I know that part about hypnotism, but what did she meant by normal human? Could technology had gone far that they can even create an android or something like that? I'm kinda and out of loop for a year, so I appreciate it if you explain what do you mean by that. It's better to admit if you didn't know something and ask someone else. She seemed to not expected my answer as she were about to fall to the floor, but managed to regain her balance. Why are you really saying you don't know what I'm saying? Nope. That's why I want you to explain thing. If so, why are you here? Are you a thief coming to school late at night? She sure love asking question, huh? Well, if that's the case, she should answer some of my question. What about you? It's weird for a student to still be at school at this kind of time. I'm not the only one that needs to explain thing here. Now, how would she react? It was weird for a student to be at school this late at night unless the study time had been changed to nighttime, which I doubt is the case here. Issei, this is going nowhere, let's sit down first while we're talk about your circumstances. She said as she clicked her finger as the light on the room suddenly turned on. I would be amazed by this if not for the fact that on Helkijinya they apparently turn the light on and off using this way. But there's no magic in this world, right? So technology had managed to recreated something that magic did, which is amazing in its own way. And so both of us sit at the table who look like an office table. The girl sat in front of me as I sat the opposite of her. Why are we doing this again? All I want is to find where I am and return to my home. I said to her. It shouldn't be a problem for her to just tell me where am I so I could go straight home and have a wonderful reunion with my family. Yet she stood there not wanting to let me go. Let's see, the window behind her is wide open, meaning I could escape from here if I just jumped through it. But what would she think after seeing a person jump off from the third floor of building uninjured? No, I can't let you go just yet before you tell me who you really are. This girl start to get on my nerves. Like I said, my name is Saito. If you can't remember that, then you can call me Saito for short. I did tell her my name before. Come to think of it, she didn't tell me her name at all, and not to mention why she were here in the first place. I tell mine, but who are you? Why are you here in the first place? The girl looked at me for a moment before giving out her name. My name is Sona Citri, the sister of Serafo Leviathan and the student council president of this school. The girl, or should I said Sauna, introduce herself. The weird thing is she even introduces her sister as well. She seemed to look at me when she mentioned her sister name, as if probing some sort of reaction from me. Student council president. Oh, I see that why you were here. If she were the president, then it wouldn't be weird if she were here late at night. Most of the student council president type is always stay late at school sorting some work. At least that's what it always is on an I'm. She seems to be waiting for another reaction from me. Is there something I should have noticed? I know I'm not that smart, but what did she expect from me? You're really clueless, aren't you? Like I said, I don't even know where I am. If you would be so kind to answer my question. Let's just get this over with so I could find my way home. But considering I'm in a place unknown to me, I may need to wait for tomorrow morning before going home. Maybe I could contact my parent to bring me home. Alright, I let you off for the time being. This is Kouhai Private Academy. You're currently in Tokyo. Tokyo? What luck that the region I'm in is the same as my house is. Thank you very much for telling me. I'll be on my way then. As I said that, I stand up from the seat as I head out to the entrance door. Wait. I stopped walking as I turned around with a question mark on my head. Before that. What? She just trailed off before saying anything. But Basha sounds something sprouts out from her back. Ah. I unconsciously step back as I reach out for the stone tablet that had store all my weapon as I summon Durf in my hand out of reflex. Wow, what the hell are you? I found myself asking that while my hand gripped Durf tightly, preparing for something worse. Just as I expected. You are not normal human and yet you seem didn't know anything about us. She said as I can see her eye behind her glasses beepized me thoroughly. Durf, do you know anything about the creature? I should have returned to my world and yet in front of me is a creature that shouldn't exist on my world. Is this even my world in the first place? I'm not sure. I can sense magic inside her, but I never seen any creature like that before. If Durf didn't know, then we're definitely not anywhere near Helkijinya. The talking sword. Is it a sacred gear that is something sealed on it or something else? I'm not sure what is it she muttering about, but I think maybe it better if I take my leave now. Just as I expected, the door were locked, meaning that I can't escape using the front door. If that the case. Ooh. I charged at her as she seemed to be a bit startled by my action. This gave me an opportunity as I ran past her through the window as I jumped from the third floor. But the thud sound I land on the ground. Just when I was about to head to an exit. Where do you think you're going? Sauna had already stood in front of me. When did she? I look back at the room from before and she isn't there anymore. Just how did she get in front of me so fast? I got no choice. I don't really want to fight with woman, but if you didn't want to let go of me then I have to force my way through, I said clearly. Please let me go and forget ever meeting me. I silently pray on my mind. Very well, let's see how strong you really is. No choice then. Maybe if I beat her she let me go. There's no need to kill her here. Even though she have the wing on her back, it still make it hard for me to kill something that look like human. It make me wonder how I survive in Halkijinya for a whole year without killing even a single life. She brought her hand as magic circle appear. Soon a gush of water come flying at me at high speed. My reactions were immediate as I raised Durf to block the attack. The water magic hit Durf and like all other magic on Halkijinya it got absorbed by it. I don't know what happened partner, but for some reason I can absorb more magic than I usually could. Durf said after he got a taste of the water magic. If what he said is true then I could fight without worried that I absorbed too much magic that will cause him to break apart. After being inside the katana thing happened and Durf got broken again. Since at that time we already got an elf corporation, one of the elf best blacksmith create a new body for Durf. Although I said new, the sword is like a replica of Durf original body, so they're really nothing much different from it. I used this chance to charge at Sauna, but before I got near her she used some sort of magic as she maintained her distance from me. Another chant but this time a magic circle appear above my head as a spear of water raining down on me. Even with Durf absorb ability I can't absorb all of the magic at once. She must also think the same thing. That's why she chose this kind of attack. To be able to deduce Durf ability and weakness just by watching it once, this girl must be some sort of tactical genius. The spear hit me. The attack wasn't fatal, but it still hurt as each of it hit my body. I fall to the ground as I try to withstand the pain from the attack. Swoosh, a wall of water suddenly raised round me making me unable to move anywhere aside in front of me, which happened to be where Sauna is. Give up. Sauna said as she came near me. Can't believe I just lose. No, it's still too early, I still haven't used those 2 runes yet. Not yet. I shout as I charged at her as I reached out a weapon from the stone tablet. But the thunk sound I dropped the item as I kept charging at Sauna. I heard the flash sound as Sauna suddenly covered her eye from the effect of the flash bang. It was a wonder that I found something like this near a Shaitan gate. From the look of it, it seemed to be made not too long ago. Now all I need to do is hit her with the back of the blade to knock her out. Thus she waved her hand in front as another gush of water came charging at me. But the attack missed as it just passed on my right. She can't aim her magic if she can't see, so before she regain her sight back, I better take this chance. This is it, I were about to say that, but suddenly something seemed to caught my feet as I stumbled to sound a direction. Crash. Boom. You can practically heard the sound. What happened? Sounded though to herself. She were fighting with an unknown individual. Just as she thought she had cornered him, that guy dropped some sort of grenade that blinded her eye. She never expecting for him to use human weapon on her, so she were caught off guard. Suddenly she can feel something had tackled her as she fall to the ground. She can feel something touch her lips, but she can't be sure of what it is. The effect from the grenade had lessened as she finally see what going on. To her shock when she can finally see the boy eye were right in front of her. His eyes were wide, and so were she as she didn't expected this turn of event. Her lips had met the boy lip as they were both kissing on the ground. She can feel her face redden a bit, but not before she heard a sound. Thou hath been chosen by the chaos, accept thy destiny as thou accept thy role as master of chaos. She really didn't know what the voice meant, but she can see some sort of magic circle she never seen before appear as it start become smaller and smaller, and soon the magic circle shoot to her chest, as it engraved fully in the middle of her breast. What just happened? She said out loud before finding her consciousness gone as everything gone black. Okay, even I still trying to make sense what just happened. She were indeed unconscious, but not with the method I thought she would. I were planning to knock her out with a simple strike from Durf, but my feet got caught on something on the ground as I accidentally stumble upon her as I tackle her to the ground. If that was the case I wouldn't think too much about it, but the fact that our lip accidentally met each other as if we were kissing. If Louise were to know this, I'm dead for sure. Oh. Right, there no way to return back to Halkijinya now. But something weird happened during the kiss. A weird magic circle appear and suddenly it start to be engraved right in the middle of her chest. Of all the place, why there? I would go and check if it were other accessible place, but to check the mark I have to strip her. I already caused that misunderstanding from before, so there no way I would do that again. Seeing that she was unconscious, I decide to move her to a more comfortable place before I take my leave from this place. Finally I arrived at home. I was wondering how I should make my call, but I accidentally found a police station. From there they start to call my parent. I was nervous at first, but after talking with my parent it finally proved it that this is indeed my world. Even so, what with that girl with a black wing? Could it be that Earth is not as normal as I thought at first? About half an hour later both my father and mother arrived to pick me up. Needless to say, while on the car they keep asking me where I had gone to. All I said was I explain later. Something like crossing worlds should be explained when I return home. We arrive at our home as all of us gather at the living room. I use a simple direct approach. I summon Durf, and my father almost fainted seeing a talking sword. My mother doesn't seem to faze it much. She said that she had received my mail and said she believed all of it. That mail that I sent to her, I never though she will believe me, but I felt a bit relief. From there I explain everything about Halkijinya. It mostly Durf who did the explanation, but I did interrupt him once in a while. That is the case, my business there is finished and I have returned. I said as I finished the story. Ahem, I never believed the story like that if not for the talking sword there. But still we both glad that you're okay and still alive. My father said though he's still trying to get used to the idea of a fantasy-like world. Maybe it would be better if I kept about the supernatural thing like that girl and I met before. So finally I'm back. To a place where that I can call my true home. Now that I'm back I suddenly feel sleepy. Maybe it a relief or the adrenaline from the battle had worn off. Who can say, but it would be great to just fell asleep right now. I thought as I can feel my conscience slowly drift off as everything were gone. It had been a week after the battle with that mysterious boy. She haven't told anyone about it since she feel that she didn't feel any ill intent from the boy. But one thing she was confused about were a mark on her chest. She had studied many kind of magic circle, but none of them looked the same as the mark on her chest, not to mention that she can't get rid of it and she can't tell her sister about it either. Who know what her sister will do if she knew someone put a weird mark on her body. She may end up destroying this whole country. Alright class, today we have a new transfer student. The teacher said. Sound look up as she watched the newcomer came in. Her eye widened, and so were the person as their eyes met. The transfer student seems to don't know what to do, but he managed to gain his grip as he started his introduction. My name is Hiraga Saito. Nice to meet you. My name is Hiraga Saito. Nice to meet you. I introduced myself to my new classmate. How could this happen? I was ready to just put the event that happened when I returned to my world as just a dream. Fate doesn't seem to be so kind to me as here I am, transferring to a new school, and the girl I met before is in the same class as me. It all happened a few days after I returned home. It has been a few days since I arrived back to my world. Since I was gone for a whole year there are many things I need to catch up to. Furthermore, what I thought is improvement of technology seem not to be the case. If I was to make a guess, those automatic door or lamp must be a product of anything but science. I'm still not sure what that woman really is, and I don't think I want to find out. I have enough trouble in Halkijinya already, so at least let me live my life peacefully without all this supernatural thing happening around me. Yesterday your father informed me that he got a promotion as a manager to another branch of his company near this place. My mother said to me. I see that good. Sorry to spring this on you, but because of the matter of his workplace, we have to move to another area starting tomorrow. I know you're just returning home, but we have no choice but to move from here. My mother seemed to be considerate enough to consider my feeling. No, it doesn't matter really, I doubt anyone even remember me anymore, so the change of scenery should be better for me. I doubt someone as average as me will be noticed even if I disappear for a year. Another thing, we already finished paperwork for your education. Thankfully you can still continue to a third year without repeating a second year back. School how the only school I knew in Halkijinya is Tristan Magic Academy. Okay. Sure, but which school I will be going? It couldn't be my old school since we'll be moving away. It's called Kouhai Private Academy. That is how I end up in this school of all the place where my father got transferred to. Why is it near here? Not to mention that I'm in the same class as the girl, if I remember correctly her name is Sana Citri. I would like to say such misfortune, but I don't feel like stealing someone else's line, so I opt to be quiet. Baraga here just transferred to this area, so I hope all of you could help him to get used to the place. Sensei said as he gathers the other student attention. I can see my new classmate whisper to each other, and I swear I could hear the word like disappoint, average or normal from them. Yes, I was a normal person, sorry for that. But there no way I could tell them I'm a familiar. I rather keep my normal high school life as much as possible. Now that the introduction over it was about time for me to choose my seat. As for your seat. Sensei was about to say but were interrupted by someone. Sensei. There's an empty seat beside me, so would it be alright for the transfer student to sit here? Sauna raised her hand as she said that. How could she? I want nothing to do than to keep my distance from her so I wouldn't get sucked to anything that is not considered normal. Sensei. Allow me to refuse Sauna offer. I said before he will agree with her. Oh, you already knew her already. If that the case, please go and sit beside Shituri-san. I accidentally said Sauna name out loud. My classmate had already whispering to each other because of my slip of tongue. I didn't suppose to know her name yet, but I just blurted out to get away from her. I don't know that kind of guy. Sauna said as her face reddened a bit at being the center of attention. Yeah, as she said, so I should choose other sit besides near her, right? I said hopefully. Not much trouble, go and take your seat right now, Haraga-kun. What kind of sensei are you? Shouldn't you at least listen to your student plea? Seeing that there's no room for argument, with a big sigh I moved to my seat as I look at Sauna with a what did you want look. Shituri-san, please share your textbook with the Haraga-kun, seeing that this is his first day after all. At sensei word I really want to shout such misfortune, but I held back feeling that the word were not mine to use. As soon as the class finished I was about to dash off somewhere else, but not before Sauna grabbed my collar, preventing me from escaping. Sauna, please let go of me. What did you even want from me? I can't just summon Derflinger right in the middle of the class, or else I may get expelled on my first day of school or probably arrested for possessing a weapon illegally. Call me Kaichu at school. Sauna said. Why should I listen to her? I can call her whatever I want. I protest on my mind as I try to loosen her grip from mine, but it were futile. For a woman her strength were not to be scoffed at. The only way for me to shake her off is by somehow to find a way to activate Gandalfer. But the current condition with nothing else that resemble a weapon, I can't activate Gandalfer right now. Right, Sauna-san, so can I go right now please? I don't want to take your precious time after all. I said, still trying to shake her hand off. Is that all you can say after what you did that night? I was about to collapse on the ground at that if not for her restricting my movement. How could she say that in the middle of the class who is still filled with other student? Everyone else was already gossiping about that statement she just made, and I can feel some hateful glare that was sent to me. You know, you shouldn't said out loud about the wonderful night we have together. Since thing had gone from bad to worse, might as well go all the way. Sauna seemed to be confused before she finally realized what she said just now. Chance. I use this chance to broke away from her as I dash out from the classroom. And, gasp, I don't think anyone following me. Trying to catch my breath, I scan my surrounding to confirm that I lost her for good. Although I escaped her from now, there's no way I could avoid her forever. What should I do? Just when I was thinking about this I heard a voice from somewhere. From the sound of it there was someone talking. I should have ignored the voice, but the curiosity's part of me won over. As I get near where I heard the voice came from I can hear some shout. Boy, let me see it too. But that voice and the sound of struggling. My feet just moved by itself as I reached the area. There's nothing there except a guy who is sitting on the ground. Hey? Who are you? Oh crap. I don't understand what he doing. He looked confused before his face turned pale as he looked at me. No, he didn't look at me, in fact he was looking behind me. I turned around only to be met with an army of girl who held a shinai on their hand. You again? And it seemed you bring a new friend with you. I don't know what the heck just happened. Did I miss anything? I'm sorry, but what just happened? I said out loud the question that in my mind. You filthy beast. Without waiting anymore all the girl came at me and the guy beside me with full force. 20 minutes later. Haha, with that all the girl collapsed from exhaustion. Well, they were targeting me. That guy from before seemed to had escaped to a safe place while cheering me on from afar. I don't like it. Why should I'm the one being targeted at? I haven't done anything yet. Even so, it was easy to dodge their attack even without activating Gandalfer. 20 minutes passed as they all still haven't landed a hit on me. I still got more energy left, but some of them had collapsed from exhaustion. I guess being in a fantasy land for a year will do that to you. Huh. What are you? To dodge all the attack the last girl collapsed from exhaustion. Now I have a dozen of girl unconscious in front of me. I look at where the guy who is a reason for this current situation and find out he's still there. Yeah, you saved me. I would be in a world of pain if you didn't appear. Thank you very much. He said as he finally came out from his hiding place after ascertaining there were no more danger. I wasn't really trying to save him, I want to say that, but I changed my mind. Let him think what he want. Mind explaining what happened that make them want to beat you? Since I got involved in this already, might as well found out why this happened. Oh damn, those two just left me behind like that. I didn't even see anything yet, sigh, thanks again. If not for you I would be the victim of those shinai. He seems to be complaining about something, but he still didn't answer my question. By the way, who are you? Haven't seen you around before. My name's Issei. Hey, my name Hiraga Saito, I'm just transferring here to this school today as a third year. I introduce myself out of reflex. Oh, so you're my senpai then, oh crap, it better if we leave before they woke up. Issei said as he make an escape for it after watching one of the girls seem to stir for a moment as I follow suit. I can't believe it. That guy, how dare he make a fool of me like that, Sauna thought in anger while her hand moving as she searched for the document that she want. Kaichu, what happened just now? Who is that man? Looking up she found her Fuku Kaichu looking at her worriedly. No, it nothing. Don't worry too much about it. She said as she dismissed her. She still needs some time to find out just what is the symbol that had been marked on her is. She had checked all kind of record from Devil and she didn't found anything that resembles the symbol. She also checked in Fallen Angel and Angel record but nothing that matched with it. She can't be positive since the information on Fallen Angel and Angel is not complete on her archive, so she wasn't sure whether that person is from Angel or Fallen Angel side or probably from other mythology side. She thought about the guy for a moment. He appeared out of nowhere in the middle of the night and she didn't even detect his presence until he opened the door when she was in the middle of changing clothes. She wasn't sure how she should handle the situation at first, so she thought she need to ascertain whether the person were just a normal robber or something else, that's why she had given her real name and even her relation to one of the Mao. But that guy only reacts to the fact that she was a student council president without even giving any thought about the name of Mao. Even someone from other mythology should know about that name, so she was about to think that he was just a normal human. Even so she still wasn't convinced that why she reveal herself. That guy were surprised by a wing spreading on her back as he take a step back, but the thing he do next is clearly indicate that he was not a normal human. He materialize a sword to his hand and not to mention that said sword can talk. At first she thought he was some sort of exorcist, but she didn't detect any kind of power from him aside from the rune that had been glowing on his left hand. It was neither the power of angel or fallen angel or even magician who used the power of devil. The sword in his hand looked normal aside that it can talk. It didn't give out any demonic or holy aura, meaning that it's just a normal sword that happened to be able to speak. At least that's what she thought at first, but the sword had the ability to absorb her magic when she fire one of the middle level water magic. She were still cautious of him as she restrained her power to see what he really capable of, but what she didn't expect is that man to use flashbang to blind her and then. Her hand unconsciously moved to her lips as she remembered that sensation again. No, now not the time to think about it. She shake her head to remove those thoughts from her mind, but she can still feel her cheek redden just by remembering the scene again. Like I thought, something seemed to bother you, Kaichu. Your face looks red all over. She really can't refute to that, but all of it were forgotten as her hand got a hold of the document she were searching. That document? Is that the new transfer student document? Ah, I see. Fufu. Even Kaichu seemed to fall to that sickness, huh? As if realizing something, Shiratsubaki Fuku Kaichu said something that she didn't comprehend. Sickness? What do you mean by that? Unlike human, it was almost impossible for a devil to fall to a sickness, especially since she is a pure-blood devil. But love obviously, so tell me Kaichu, Hiraga-san said something about a wonderful night together, what happened? Shinra said with a sly smile on her face. Love, he has if I fall for a pervert like that. She denied it as if it doesn't faze her. And she is going to regret this word in the future. Pervert. Oh, so something did happen that night. Her queen seems misunderstanding her words. No, nothing happened, we didn't kiss each other at all that night. Kiss? So you already passed gone to level A already? As expected of Kaichu. Amidst the panic she suddenly let that out. No choice but to tell her what exactly happened. After all she can trust her with this. Ah, so that would happen. I said as I heard his side of story. I knew how he felt because I was in the same position once. You speak as if you had gone through something like that, senpai. I'd be lying if I say no. Yes, once my friend had devised a plan to peep on a girl bath. As a result the girl found out and all of us got punished, even though I didn't see much. I still remember that incident in my mind. Gitch and the others suddenly proposed some sort of plan. I didn't know at first what it is, but I find out after that they had digged some sort of hole that led to a woman bath. That day was a disaster. Even though I didn't get caught thanks to Tabitha, I still receive other punishment. Maybe it better if I don't remember that incident. Though as expected of senpai, you're good at dodging and you even have more experience than me. For some reason this Issei seemed to gain some sort of admiration upon me. I don't know whether that a good thing or not. Hahaha well. By the way, could you teach me how to dodge all the attack? If I can do that then I can peep without worried of having me discovered. Now I don't know how to reply. On one hand that is a result of an experience of countless battle and not something you were trained to. But if you really want to learn it so much I could teach him like how Agnes had teach me. Okay, I don't mind, but I warn you it wouldn't be easy. I agree. Why not, at least I can make good use or bad of something that I learned from that other world. This Haidu Issei is almost the same as me when I arrive at Halkijinya for the first time, except that he is much more perverted than I am. Not that I mind much. After all, it's normal for a teenage boy to be a pervert, though never made your girl jealous because of that, or the result is quite disastrous if I say so myself. Yosh, I swim through hell itself if it mean I will be able to peep more easily. Issei said with his eye burning with conviction. I feel like this person here can really do it, seeing his determination. Boy, Issei, you still alive? I can hear a voice from far away calling Issei. Vitsuda. Motohama. Damn you for leaving me alone out there. So this two-person here is also one of the culprits of the peeping accident that happened before. After short introduction with Issei friend, I can feel someone gaze. I'm not sure where this gaze is targeted at, but it feel like this isn't a normal human gaze. Could it be Sauna or someone else who is the same as her? I turn around and can see a girl with a red crimson hair. Issei and the other also look up as they watch the girl from where we are. What the heck are there exactly? That bat-like wing maybe is the clue to their identities, but I never seen anyone with a bat-like wing in Halkijinya. The closest is wingman, but they have bird wing, not that bat-like wing. The only way to know is by talking with Sauna directly. Since I have been avoiding her the entire time today, maybe I should confront her tomorrow. You guys can go first. I have some business with Senpai. I don't know how long I was out there, but Issei voice snapped me back to the reality. Hey? What business that he meant? Don't tell me you forgot already. You said you would teach me how to do that thing you just did before. This guy seems to be determined. Well, since it is still early to go home, might as well. After finding some wide space for what we're about to do, I secretly bring out a wooden sword that I kept inside the tablet. These tablets were created by Julio using the power of my Osrinern. It acts as a dimensional pocket to store thing, so that I could easily bring it out anytime without carrying it. Not to mention that you can even fit a dozen of giant size thing inside, meaning that you can store many thing inside it no matter the size. Even so, it still have it limit. If you want to decide to store something that is the size of the entire world, then you can start worrying about the limit on it. Take this. I throw the wooden sword at Issei as he catches it. What are we going to do with wooden sword? Issei said as he examined the wooden sword in his hand. Well. 10 minutes later. Senpai, what did fighting with a sword got to do with what you did today? Issei said while he's still recovering from his first time using a sword-like weapon. Listen here, Issei, if we keep the training you will be able to develop your sense more. He doesn't seem to understand. If it the case, I should explain the way that even he could understand. For example, when you peeped through that dressing room hole, what did you see? The girl changing clothes, obviously. Right, but if you increased your sense you will be able to see more than that. Even the place that was hidden by something else. Oh, I understand now, Senpai. Yosh. Let's keep training. Issei said as he stands up with a burning spirit. After the training with Issei, and I must say it feel good to take up a sword again. Being back on Earth makes something like a sword unnecessary. That guy Issei determination is strong, as long as it anything that will prove beneficial on his perverseness. Just for a day he can already block several of my attack, even though I was going easy on him without Gandalf mode. I return home as nothing else happened. I have a talk with Durf that night about Sauna, and her true form is. Are you sure you didn't know anything about her? No, never seen something like that before. By the way, partner, didn't you say your world didn't have any magic? That girl clearly was using some kind of water magic there. I was convinced at first, but now I'm not so sure. This world had many secret about it than I thought it would. Partner, instead of thinking from Halkijinya perspective, how about you think from your world perspective? Something like a legend on how Brimmer is to Halkijinya. I'm sure this world had one of its own right. Hearing Durf said that I can reject it completely. There are many myths in this world, and I'm afraid I didn't study much about it. Let's see, I quickly opened the internet as I searched for any related search. Succubus, Lilim, there are too many here that I couldn't figure out which it is. But they all fall under one category, a demon. If that's the case, then she is a demon. For a demon she doesn't look that scary, in fact she looked just like any normal high school girl is. Oh well, we know once we ask her about it tomorrow. I said as I give up on guessing her true identities. But that thought in mind I go back to sleep preparing for tomorrow to uncover the truth. Yawn. I look at the time. It seems I woke up early than usual today. As usual I finished my morning ritual as I headed for a breakfast. After that I headed upstairs to get ready for school. Ding dong. I can hear the someone ring a doorbell. Probably from someone who sent a newspaper. Even so, it's still early right now. Saito, your friend came to get you. My mom shout from downstairs. Friend? I just start school yesterday and because of that I didn't make any friend yet beside Issei and his two friend. But it couldn't be Issei because I haven't told him where I live. In order to find out, I quickly finished changing to school uniform as I headed downstairs. Ah. Sound, yep, it was none other than the demon girl. At least though she is a demon. Thank you very much for looking after my son. He can be a bit slow at time, but please take good care of him. No, it's my duty as a classmate to look after him. They sure got friendly fast. Hi, that enough you two, we'll be going to school now. I said try to make some distance between her and my mother. I don't want her to take my mom hostage or something. And so both of us walk side by side on the street. It was quiet until Sauna start to speak. You don't seem to plan on escaping today. I just though there's no way I could ran away from you forever, so might as well found out what do you want. Since it's still early, there aren't many people on the road, so we can talk more freely. Good, if that's the case, why don't we stop by a nearby cafe since there's still an hour before school start. As Sauna said that, I could only nod. Both of us arrive at a cafe that were located on the way to school. There wasn't any costumer there, and suddenly Sauna seemed to do something to the owner and the worker as they have that kind of dizzy look as he flipped the sign from open to close. This must be the thing she was planning to do to me yesterday. It seems I have a resistance to that kind of skill, so I could feel a bit relief when talking with her. Both of us take a two-person sit as we face each other. What are you? You go first. At this rate we wouldn't be learning anything. Ahem, alright, you seem to be in the dark about us just like other human is. Sound finally start as I nod. First, I'm a devil. I see. You don't seem to be surprised by it. I give some thought about it yesterday, and demon or devil comes to my mind as what you are. So she really is a demon or devil. Which way is fine. Since she tells me her story, it was my turn now. I'm a human. Does she give me the don't lie look? It's not a lie. Technically I'm a human, but at the same time I'm a familiar. I think if I were to categorize myself, it should be a familiar. A familiar as human. It seemed the term familiar wasn't really an alien to her. But just like Halkajinya, there doesn't seem to be human familiar with this devil. Yes. I'm a bit special. I was summoned as familiar of the void. I don't know if she understood what I'm saying, but might as well tell her what I knew. Boy, before she finished her words, someone else crashed into the building. With a boom sound accompanied with a smoke, a person's silhouette can be seen from a smoke. Off both me and Sounda cover our mouth as we tried to clear the dust so we could get a clearer view. As the dust cleared, it revealed a middle-aged guy who wears a hat in reverse. Zataji-san. What are you doing here? It seems Sounda knew who this person is. Hey, who is this old man? Please show some respect. This person here is a familiar master. He knew everything there is to it about familiar. Ah, so this person a familiar master, kinda remind me of the word Pokemon master, but that doesn't matter right now. Fufufu, if it isn't young Citri. It's been a while since I saw you. Yes, it's been a while. This person must be an important person if Sauna talked to him formally. As for the reason I came here. He turned to look at me as suddenly a magic circle appeared below me. All my other runes start to appear. Although I can't feel it activate, it just appear like that to be shown to the world. On a side note, ever since I'm back to Earth, the rune didn't seem to stay on where it should be. It only appear whenever I activated power. At least it saved me some trouble on how to explain why I have some sort of writing on my body. The rune, what is the meaning of this? It the same as that mark? Sounda seemed to mutter something as she watched the familiar mark. On my left hand were Gandalfur. On my right hand were Windalfur. On my forehead were my Osrinern. And lastly on my chest is Liftersur. The runes start glowing brightly as suddenly a light shot out from the rune as all of them gather at the middle of Sounda chest as the magic circle from before appears. It got bigger to be seen clearly. The magic circle had a pentagon shape, but there is a writing on each part. I recognize the writing, after all it's something that I have seen before. On the upper left part is Gandalfur. On the upper right part is Windalfur. On the lower left part is Liftersur. On the lower right part is my Osrinern. But at the middle there is a writing I didn't recognize. I quickly summoned Durf. Hey Durf, what the writing at the center of the circle is? Seeing that I can't read the writing, Durf were the only one who may know what it is. I still can't believe it, but it said void. Void? That makes sense since all the familiar mark were born from void power. Zataoji-san, what is the meaning of this? Sounda turned to look at the old man who seems to know something. Everyone here seemed to ignore all the thing that happened as if there were nothing weird happening. It must be the result of Sounda power. Haha, I never thought I'd get to see it while I'm still alive. He didn't seem to answer Sounda question as he start to mutter something. Hey old man. If you know something, tell us. I shouted him. Both of us seemed to be confused by the sudden turn of event. Sorry, I got excited a bit there. Let's take a sit while I explain. It concerned the both of you. For some reason I feel like it better if I were kept in the dark about what he were about to say. Let's see, it happened about 6,000 years ago. He starts. How old is he again? I make a contact with a mage called Brimmer. Wait a second there. Did you just said Brimmer, the first user of Void? It can't be that guy, right? But he just said 6,000 years ago, so it fit the timeline of when Brimmer's still alive. Let me finish my story first, you can ask all the question later. I kept quiet after that. Better let him finish his story first. This might have something to do with Void after all. Brimmer came to me saying that she want me to kept a seal. It was a seal of the Void power and all it familiar. I was young at that time, but even now I haven't seen any powerful familiar as the one he created. Of course I tried to do as she said, but I fail on making a seal as she want as it was too much even for someone like me. Seeing that there is no interruption, he continued. A few decades later I learned that she managed to found a way to create the seal. The seal was to keep a Void power from escaping to where her world is. If the Void power somehow returns back to her world, then an anti-existence of Void will awaken and will cause havoc yet again. At least that's what he said to me. Anti-existence should be referred to that big shadow, right? That's why all Void users had to relinquish their power and give it to me, so I could return to my world and keep the power in check. About 30 years ago the seal was broken and the Void had gone to, I assume, where Brimmer world. I haven't managed to make any contact with that world, so I don't know the situation there. So that's why Void had gone for a 6,000 years long. It had been sealed on the earth for that time. And somehow Void power returned to Halkijinyu and Louise receive on the Void power as she summoned me next. Sounda doesn't show any reaction as she listened to the story. But I have a feeling she really have a lot of question, but she hold it back before the story finish. About a week ago I sensed the Void power had returned and that show I got here. A few weeks ago is when I returned to this world. He could sense thing like that. I heard your story, but one thing I found weird is when you mention his world. You spoke as if it were neither underworld or heaven. As if it were a world that all of us didn't know about. Finally, after the story finished, Sounda finally asked a question that had been bothering her. And what would that underworld and heaven talk? Could it be it really exist? I'm not really a religious person, so I didn't believe that kind of thing before, but hearing her said that meaning that it exists for sure, and it also mean there is a god in my world. I'm not surprised you didn't know about that. In fact, I don't think there anyone beside me or possibly God from Bible to know about the existence of that world. It is not something that could be reached by a simple dimensional magic. It must be a spell that were specialized to create a path between that world and our world. Hearing him said that, the spell that he mentions must be a world gate which connects Earth and Halkijinyu. I may be able to use the spell to return back, but the risk is reviving that giant shadow again. Maybe I could ask God help to eliminate it. After all, if it a god it should be a piece of cake. Let not talk about Halkijinyu for now. What about that magic circle thing that appear on Sounda? Breast, it feel awkward to say it, but I have to say it nonetheless. Yeah, that too, it has this weird writing, Gandalfur, Windalfur, my Osrinern Liftersur and Void on it. Surprisingly, Sounda seemed to be able to read what the writing meant. Maybe it one of the devil abilities. Oh right, I were about to get to that. In short, you boy is her familiar. Huh? It take me a while to comprehend what he just said. What? Look, even Sounda was confused by it. Let make this simple, familiar cannot exist without a master. I don't know what circumstance you in boy, but in short the connection you have with your previous master had vanished and the familiar mark need a new master. Did something happen when you met, like a kiss or something? Hearing the word kiss, my mind start to wonder at that moment. The moment our lip touches. I can feel my face redden a bit. Even Sounda is the same, but she still try to maintain her composure. Both of us can only nod at that question, as none of us willing to speak about it. Then the contract had been established just by doing that. That's it for today's lesson. Make sure all of you finish your homework before the next class. Sensei said as he leaves the classroom. To be honest, my mind wasn't really focus of the lesson at hand. The revelation from this morning still ringing on my ear. Sounda is my new master. Don't tell me those fake motive the rune have will take effect soon. If I don't found someone who can erase the fake motive, then the rune may affect me to serve her somehow. Well, please come with me to the student council room. Sounda said from beside me. Seeing that I just become her familiar, I got no choice but to come along. Since I'm already dragged into this, might as well know as much as possible about the supernatural creature in this world. Okay. Was my answer as I follow her to the place where I first met her. But I wish she can be a little discreet about it. Even though only one day had passed, it seemed the rumor had spread to the entire school. Something like me and Sounda were dating or something similar to that. Especially since this morning we came to school together. I bet the rumor will just escalate it further. And now she practically asked me to come with her. It will only fuel the rumor more, and I already got some jealousy stare from her fan club. Everyone, this is Hiraga Saito. From this moment he will be joining student council. Sounda said to all other member of student council as she introduces me. Wait a second here, I never agreed with this in the first place. Why did I have to join student council all of a sudden? And what with that is this guy for real look that other member gave me? I don't want to join it in the first place. I thought at first she called me to continued further discussion about the topic at hand. Aichu, does that mean this guy also? The other member which happened to be a girl. In fact there wasn't a guy at all in here. Could this be a girl-only place and I somehow had intruded in it? No, he's a full-fledged human, but currently he is my familiar. She sure accepts the fact that I'm her familiar easily. And what with that full-fledged human part, it is if all the other member is. Don't tell me that all of them are not human. I finally said it. If that the case then the student council is some kind of gathering place for a demon. Yes, all of them are my servant. And that will also include you. Even in this world my status had been reset to a servant again. Wait a second here, why should I enter the student council? Can you guys just go on without noticing my existence or something? I'm sure it wouldn't matter whether I'm here or not. They could be planning to destroy the world for all I care. I'm sure someone else will try and stop them if that's the case. So there's no need for me to be dragged on any of this. It can't be helped. Right now you're just become a familiar of Citri family, so I can't just let you free like that. It will tarnish the name of Citri family like that. Like I care about family honor or anything like that. I still want to live my normal high school life without any of this demons and all that crap. I stood as we both glare at each other. Hey, don't you think they look good with each other? Yeah, I never seen Kaichu acting like this before. I can hear the girl mutter behind me, but I ignore that for now as my peaceful life is at stake. I think we should give Hiraga-kun here some time before we make any decision. Before that I would appreciate if you explain how he became your familiar in the first place. The girl standing beside Sauna said. If I remember correctly she in the same class as me and Sauna and her name is Shinra something. From her armband it indicated that she is a vice president. Right, I guess I should tell all of you about that first. You can go now Saito, but your name is already listed as student council member. There's no escaping for you here. Alright, but I won't be following your order always. If you're planning something like destroying the world or the like, count me out. I wave my hand before leaving the room. It seems I can't escape no matter what. Should I just exchange school? Nah, I don't want to trouble my parent any further. It works. That sudden voice almost startled me, and when I turned around I found Issei doing a victory dance. Yo, what's up? I asked him as I came near him. He turned around as he noticed me. Senpai. You're here. By the way, you wouldn't believe me, but I try to peep the girl changing room again and I can see all the detail in just a matter of second. Your training really effective. I can only let out a sound huh. At that. It shouldn't be possible since we're only start training yesterday. It should be at least a few more days before his sense will improve and yet here he is saying that it succeed. Could it be his hero power accelerates his training progress? By the way, can you teach me how to use sword properly? I need to prepare myself in case I was caught. Just how far this guy willing to do as long as it has anything to do with erotic. But since he already asked why not? Okay, but today we're going to go to a more secluded place. There's something I want to show to you. I think I could trust him with this. I don't know why, but somehow I want to make this person stronger than ever. Maybe my swordsman instinct want me to train this person here. I have a way to make him grow stronger, but it depends on his willpower from this. We arrive at a secluded place deep inside the forest near the school. There shouldn't be anyone watching here so it should be safe. Issei, before we begin I want to ask you, do you believe in supernatural? As I expected he was confused by my question. This world had many mysteries in it and maybe someday you will become part of it. Or maybe you will be ignorant to it forever on your whole life. What are you trying to say senpai? Since he didn't know what I'm talking about mean he just a normal human. I'm talking about this. As I said this, Durf materialized at my hand. Well, what kind of trick is that? It not some kind of trick. As I said there is many supernatural things that exist in this world. For example Durf said something. I'm not sure. Are you sure it okay to just tell this person here? Issei were surprised by Durf talking. Can't blame him. Even I feel a bit surprised by it when I met him. The sword talk. The name Durflinger boy, you better remember that. Right, Durflinger-san. He seemed to have recovered already from the shock. So, you can do this amazing thing, can senpai do something like becoming invisible or an X-ray vision? I can already guess what he wants to do with that kind of power. No, I don't have that kind of power, but I may be able to create something like that. That was true, my Osranen allow me to create a magical artifact and I'm sure I can create something that allow the user to become invisible. But I don't think it is wise to give something like that to Issei. Please give it to me. Issei said as he bowed his head pleadingly. I shouldn't have kept my mouth shut if I knew this would happen. I'll give you on one condition. This Sunday we will have a duel one-on-one. If you manage to land a hit on me once, then I make the thing for you. If worse come to worse, I will use Gandalf to avoid all of his attack. I'm sure everyone in the whole world will agree with me on this matter. This Sunday. There's still 5 more days from now, why don't we just make it tomorrow or even better right now? Issei seemed to be impatient already. Sorry, but for today I will train you on something else. First I want you to hold Durf here. I said as I hand Durf to him. As he held Durf in his hand the sword fell to the ground. Wow, this sword is heavy. This is a real sword, right? Yes, the blade real, so be careful with it or you can accidentally cut yourself with it. Issei tried to take a proper stance as he held Durf in his hand shakily. He still needs some time to get used to the weight. What should I do with this? What I plan isn't hard. It's simple really. Swing the sword 100 times today. See, it's simple right? Eh? Issei POV. Haha. What kind of hellish training's this? All I want is to learn how to peep more efficiently. What that got to do with training with a sword? Not to mention that this sword is heavy. I was about to give up on the 25th swing, but I remember the promise about the item that can make me invisible or an X-ray vision. If I have something like that, then the paradise is just in my grasp. Because of that I continued swinging the sword until I was sure it was the 100th. I was about just skip the number, but I can't do that with the sword, counting how many times I swing him. It was weird to see a talking sword in the first place, but nothing else matter if I could reach my paradise. Even so Harem is much more better, but that's something that I couldn't achieve, so I settle with this. I'm done. I said as I collapse on the ground. I look at where Senpai is and I wonder what he'd been doing the entire time. All he did was sitting at the nearby tree as he summoned some kind of material out of nowhere. Could Senpai be a magician? And what did he meant by many supernatural creature in this world? You're done already? Senpai said as he stood and came near me. On his right hand were something that looked like a ring, while on his left hand is a glasses. What is that for Senpai? Since I already witnessed something amazing I wouldn't be surprised if it were something special. This is I think it would be better if I show it to you personally. I was confused, but after a few minute rest I finally be able to stand up as I follow him to the school ground. Good, it seemed not everyone had gone home yet. Here Issei wear this. Senpai said as he handed me the glasses in his hand. I don't know what he planning, but all I can do is wear it in order to find out. Boy this Issei can't believe it. It real. This is an X-ray glass. Right now I can see all of the girl wearing nothing but their underwear. But for some reason this didn't work on Guy, which I am grateful for it. Alright, that enough. Senpai said as he take the glass from me. I still haven't saved the image fully on my brain. After that he make the glass disappear, so that mean I can't take it back from him. Something like that. You said you didn't have something like that on you before. Isn't that exactly what I asked for? I remember a second ago he said he didn't have something like that. I'm not the one who made the glasses, it was someone else. He said as he seemed to mutter something like damn that Julio creating something like this. I don't know who this Julio is, but I have to be thankful to create a legendary item to be used. Now if only I could get a hand on those glasses. Ahem anyway. Like I said before, by the end of this weekend if you manage to hit me at least once I give you the glasses for free. Hearing that just make me more impatient to wait for this Sunday. Even so with my current state I don't think I could land a hit to Senpai. He practically dodges all attack of the girl from the kendo club like it was nothing. I need to keep up with the training if I even were to land a hit on him. To think of it, why did he train me in the first place? I'm just your normal high school student. I knew I asked him to train me in the first place so I could do something like he did, but I think this level of training is far surpassed the normal human level of training. Oh well, as long I could get a hand on the glasses nothing else matter. Here, wear this. Suddenly he throw me the ring that he had held to me. The ring looked normal, but to receive a ring from a guy is weird. But he must have a reason to give me this, right? I put the ring on my point finger as suddenly I can feel my body become heavy as I stood on one knee on the ground. Wow, what is this? It feels like something is pulling me on the ground and it take most of my energy just to stand up straight. I found some material on my inventory so I though on creating something like this. Make sure to wear it all the time and just in case. Senpai said as for some reason there was some kind of writing on his forehead as it shines. Nothing seemed to happen, but when I tried to take off the ring it got stuck. No ways, don't tell me I have to endure this somehow. I swear this guy is not a human. He must be a devil. Don't worry, I let you take it off by this Saturday. Farewell them and make sure to go at the same place tomorrow. After he said that he leaves me who is still trying very hard to just stand. If I knew something like this were to happen, I won't ask him for his help in the first place. So just how the heck am I going to return home now? Saito POV. After giving Saito the ring I decide to head home. The same kind of ring can be seen on me, but with a slightly different design. The ring I gave Issei is an artifact that will increase the gravity pull to its wearer. Issei right now must be feeling 2 times the effect of gravity on him. It was a coincidence that I found a material on the tablet. In fact, there is many more material in it that allow me to create other artifact. I take the initiative to create the same kind of artifact as Issei is, but its effect is double than what Issei currently wearing right now. And I must say at this rate I will collapse before I could even arrive at my home. There is still some girl walking around. Since Kouhai Private Academy used to be all girls school, the number of female is much more than male is. Not to mention that all the girl in this school can be considered a beauty on their own. I was really tempted to test it the glasses here. I guess it wouldn't hurt, right? I need to make sure the glass work. Yep, that it. It not like I want to see the girl naked or something. With that thought in mind I bring out the glass as I wear it. What are you doing here? At the same time a voice calling to me as I turned around. Whoa, it was too much. In front of me is none other Sauna and Vice President Shinra. Both of them were clad in underwear as they stood in front of me. They wasn't really clad in underwear, but because of this glass I've seen them like this. It seemed this glass can only seen through one article of clothing, so if one want to look at girl naked body then the pool is the best choice for it. This is bad, I'm trying very hard to restrain my nosebleed. Ah Sauna, Tsubaki. What a coincidence meeting you here. I said trying to change the topic, but my eyes still linger on their body. My eye seems to glue on their body as no matter what I did I can't look anywhere else. As expected of the number 3rd and 4th beauty of this school. I can barely restrain this nosebleed that we're about to burst out. What are you doing Hiraga-san? I didn't know you were the person who wear glasses. Why is your nose bleeding all of a sudden? I found this very suspicious crap, I can't let them found out. Nothing much. Just enjoying the view. I said trying to sound casual though my mistake seems to be that my eyes was glued to their body. Crap. I'm doomed. Well, let me see that Sauna snatched the glasses before I could even move. Not to mention that the ring I wear just slow my movement making it hard to dodge her. She replace her own glass as she wear the X-ray glasses. She look at me and then she turned to Shinra. And then me and Shinra. I see I wasn't wrong about you in the first place. I can practically sense the anger in her word as she crushed the glasses with her hand. Not that it matters since in my inventory there is a dozen of this glasses. Not that I will tell her about this though. You, come with me. She said with a voice full on authorities. Yes mom. Women are scary no matter whether it a human or mage. I Hiraga Saito promise not to create something like that ever again. My hand was looking at a paper while reading what was written on it out loud. Good, repeat it 100 more time. She said as she pushed her glass with her hand. Is where this girl is the same as Louise in her own way. 10 minutes later. Sai, you can be so cruel you know. All I did was a little experiment that all. After I read that line 100 times my body fall to the ground unable to stand anymore. I should have wait before I put in the ring. It take all of my energy to stand while revise the line over and over. Just what with the glass Kaichu. Shinra who had been watching the entire time haven't got any clue why Sauna is angry. It better if you don't know about it. It's something only a pervert will use. Sauna said coldly. Like I said I was just trying the item to see how it work. I said while trying to convince myself all of it were for the sake of experiment. And like I said, you right now you represent Citri family, so please mind your manner while you're at it. I don't even want to know how you create that kind of thing in the first place. I don't even know what the Citri family you've been talking about. In fact I don't even know anything about how your world works. All I knew you're a devil and that's all. That was the true. Nothing much were explained to me because of that interruption this morning. Haichu? You mean you haven't explained anything at all to him? I assume that all the other member of student council had already received brief summary about me. What she tells him is something that I don't know. I forgot, with all what happened this morning it completely slipped my mind. She said while she clasped her forehead. Even someone like her could do a mistake once in a while. If it's the case I have a good idea. What's this? I have a bad feeling on what Shinra were about to say. Ho it an honor to have the student council president eating together with us. My mother said happily. Well my father looked at me and giving his thumb up. Good job son, you land yourself a big catch. So seeing in this situation it looked more like me introducing my girlfriend than bringing my friend over. Shinra or rather Tsubaki as she said I should call her said that I should invite Sauna to my house tonight so she could explain me more detail on the devil or anything else that got to do with it. My mom upon hearing that I will be bringing a friend home said that I should invite her from dinner. That how we got in this situation in the first place. But it still bothers me why we should do it at my place out of all the place there is. Let me help washing the dishes. Sauna said. For a noble girl she sure is polite. When she mentioned she were in Citri family, I assume it must be like a noble in Halkijinyu is, but her action really different than other noble girl I knew. She friendly with anyone, and not to mention she didn't flaunt her status openly. So, tell me, when did you start going out with her? My father seemed to be fixing on the idea that I was going out with Sauna. Like I said, Sauna is just a friend. It's not like we're dating. I said as I reached for a glass to drink. What here I though you two had kiss already. The FFT cough hearing the word kiss, I spit out the water I'm currently drinking. Seeing my reaction, my dad seemed to have arrived to wrong or right conclusion. You two have kiss already and you didn't even tell your father, he said, faking hurt. But not like it my first time. I said casually before I realized what I just said. While you already have your first kiss and you didn't even tell your father about it? No, it happens while I'm on the other side. I immediately explained to make sure things didn't go worse. But the thought that I never visit that world again caused me to feel depressed. Things should have calmed down on the other side. Now that human and elves have no reason to fight anymore, it shouldn't be any need of holy crusade anymore. To be honest, I was surprised that even the vampire race who had been hiding throughout the entire continent even joined forces with us. Right now they should had returned back to hiding, because no matter how hard you think vampire and human can't get along, because it was their instinct to eat human and human will always hunt them down when they were discovered. Since devil exists in this world, I start to wonder whether vampire also exists. It should be, but maybe it would be more like what the legends say with Fang and Red Eye. Unlike the vampire at Halkijinyu, which no matter how you look at it, they look like human. Boy partner, that girl calling you? Durf said from beside me. When I returned home it had been more like a ritual to always bringing out Durf from the dimensional pocket. He needs some air and all. I turned around seeing Sauna, who had just finished cleaning the dish to still clad in apron. If I have a camera I would have taken the picture of it already. Too bad I didn't have the camera in my possession. Next time I need to be ready in case something like this happen again. All finish, now why don't we continue our business somewhere else? Sauna said as she takes off her apron. Right, let go to my room. I said as I lead her to my room. I can hear my father said good luck, but I just ignore him for now. It's not like we have any sort of relationship. Aside from master and familiar, that is. We arrive at my room as I gesture for her to sit. Before I start I want to know which part that you understand about us. Sauna said. What I understand about them, huh? First, you're a devil. Not to mention you were also the Kaichu of Kouhai Academy. Beside you there were other devil in school. Aside from devil there also angel, and the one govern them is God. And since you're a devil your leader is Mao, right? That all I guess, beside from that I'm as clueless as normal person is. I explained to her what I knew so far and I must say it wasn't much. Is that all? Why did she look at me with a disbelief look? But I nod nonetheless. Sai, you have that kind of power and yet you were ignorant of the fact. Hey, for your information, before I got summoned to Halkijinyu, I never even thought that magic is real. How the heck should I know that devil is also real? 9 out of 10 people will say you're crazy if you said magic is real. Not to mention things like devil or angel. Halkijinyu should be referred to the world, according to Zataoji-san, is full of mage, right? Of course we're not here to talk about that place. We're here to explain about the matter of devil. After that begin the long explanation about the devil, angel and fallen angel who I just know. It seemed that there is a great war happened a long time ago between this power. But the one who received the most damage is devil who had lost their Mao. I thought there is only one Mao, but apparently there is 4 and all of them had died during the last war. After that neither of the 3 power willing to start another war due to declining of their race. So, in other words, this fallen angel and angel is your enemy, right? Seeing her nod I try to think of something. There is devil, angel, fallen angel. If that the cause. If that the case, what does I'm categorized in? I'm sure I'm neither of these 3. You're a human, but at the same time is also my familiar according to the contract. Unlike normal contract, this familiar contract seemed to be a bit different from other, which the familiar is a rebel type. Well, my first time as familiar I also run away from my master. But what did Zataoji-san mean when he said you were the strongest familiar? From how you fought I knew you were a skill fighter, but if I were to get serious I can easily beat you at that time. What she said were true. During our fight she seemed to be holding back, that why I could get ahead of her. If she were to get serious I don't think I would even have time to think of counter plan. I don't know if I should tell you, but I guess I can tell you about one of its abilities. I said as I reached out to Durf. After that the rune on my left hand starts to shine. Gandalfer? She mutters when seeing the rune. Yes, this is Gandalfer. It give me any abilities that were made to use weapon to an absolute mastery. Let's just make this an example. If I met someone who can use powerful technique with a weapon I could easily copy and use the technique to the same or maybe even stronger than the current one. That was true. But since Halkijinya mostly focus on magic, there was barely anyone who would focus on sword technique. The strongest one I ever seen is that elemental sibling, what was his name again? Not too much trouble just for remembering it. But I don't think if I should believe you on that, but perhaps I could test you against Tsubaki. Tsubaki? You mean she fight using weapon not magic like you? That was a surprise. Since the first devil I met was Sauna, who seemed to verse in water magic, though all the other devil also fight using magic without being too much in verse with weapon. That right. She is a master of Naginata, so if what you claim is true then you should able to defeat her in a sword match. And the thought of fighting a girl wasn't really make me excited, but maybe I should try to duel her someday. I've been meaning to ask you, but why did you look as if you were struggled with something, even thought you were in your own room? Just how sharp can this girl be? I thought I have been acting like normal, but she managed to notice it. If I were to tell her I'm going to have revealed another familiar ability. Bah, might as well explain to her while I'm at it. Of course I have to keep quiet about Lifter, since I don't see any point on explaining it to her. Because of this ring, it increased the pull of gravity to it wearer 10 times than it normally would. I wonder what Issei doing right now. He only have half from what I'm currently experiencing, but for a human he didn't receive any training, it must be too much for him. But I need him to get used to it so he could at least handle Durf easily, because there's something I want Durf to do. I didn't show him Durf just to tell him about a world beside normal world after all. There is a reason for it that may be able to accelerate his training. Why am I training him? True that I shouldn't even bother myself with him, but there this feeling I have that he need to get stronger. It like there is this heavy destiny awaiting him in the near future. To think of it, where did you even got the ring? Or that perverted glass for that matter? She's still mad about that incident from this evening. But not like I did it on purpose. I just checking whether it work or not. I said to her while my mind is trying very hard to accept this reason. There definitely nothing perverted about my action, I keep convincing myself. And why did you have that in the first place? There nothing I could do to convince her, huh? Let her think what she want then. The glasses is not mine. A friend from the other world is the one who designed it, while as for the ring, I just created this morning. Seeing her confused look, I quickly try to focus on my forehead as the runes start to show itself. I learned this for Zataoji-san, that I could show the rune without activated at all. This is my Osrinern, it abilities is to give me an insight on something. It also allow me to gain absolute control over any kind of artifact. It also allow me to create a new artifact given sufficient material and a purpose. What kind of artifact can this rune control? Seeing that she still didn't fully understand, I explain once more. Like I said, as long as the rune itself deem it as artifact then I can control it. She nodded that, but I have a feeling she still can't believe it fully. How about Windelfer? What it abilities? Seeing I gave out the other two, might as well tell her about Windelfer. It abilities is a bit similar to my Osrinern, but instead of artifact it allow me to control and non-humanoid creature. It also gave me abilities to communicate with them. I don't know, but she seemed surprised when I said any animal. When you said animal, does dragon include in it? So dragon also exist in this world. If that the case, then there is a high chance for a vampire to also exist in this world. Huh. It can, the previous owner of Windelfer once take control over a dozen of dragon without breaking a sweat. Why? Is there something wrong with that? Of course there is. Don't you know that dragon is considered the strongest creature in this world? If your power can control them, you basically had the strongest power at the palm of your hand. Slow down your voice a little, but dragon the strongest. Unlike Halkijinya where the strongest is elf. In this world apparently dragon is the strongest race, and if I'm pretty sure that Windelfer could affect it, no matter how strong or intelligent the dragon is. It can even take control of Rhyme Dragon without any problem. So I look like Zataoji-san wasn't kidding when he said you were the strongest familiar in the whole world. What about Lifter then? The three of it is already can be considered a forbidden technique. About Lifter, it isn't as amazing as the other, I better not talk about it, since its abilities is practically useless to me or anyone for that matter. I said try to remain vague. What should I say? That I am a living bomb or a fuel for magic power. I will die either way if I use the abilities, so I don't think it matter, since I'm not going to use it. If you don't want to talk about it, I won't force you. Before I leave, is there something else you want to ask? What? Leaving already? You can stay here if you want. I said teasingly, and I can see it work as her face flustered. While she seemed to be lost in word as her word hang from that. Haha, just kidding. The rumor about us is already bad enough, I don't want it to be worse than it already is. You? Seeing her angry face is not bad once a while, but I think I should confirm something. By the way, is there other devil beside everyone in the student council? I've been meaning to ask her this but haven't got a chance to. Yes, I was planning to introduce all of student council member later to them later. They were the member of a cult research club. So please don't start any trouble with them. What with that saying as if I was about to cause trouble. But with this I think I understood a bit about her world. But I have a feeling I forgot something. Whatever, I should be focusing on living normal life while I still can. I have a feeling thing will become bad in the near future. End of the part 1. So how was this story? I hope you like it. And if you like it, share this story with your friends and like the video too. And don't forget to subscribe our channel for daily awesome fanfiction. Okay, it's time for me to go. Bye bye.